What is up, best ones worldwide? It's the best one DBTV here, back with a brand new Brooklyn Nets video. If you're not a best one yet already and you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, because of course you already know the grind is real. And all summer long, I'm going to be covering Brooklyn Net related stuff on this channel. And the only way that you could stay tuned to all this stuff is by hitting that subscribe button now. But with that being said, let's get into this video. So recently, Damian Lillard, Portland Trailblazers superstar, came out on the Showtime podcast and said this. Roll it.
I keep saying Damian Lillard is going to be traded to the Knicks. Damian Lillard's going to be traded to the Heat. Damian Lillard should be traded to the Celtics. Damian Lillard's going to be traded to the Nets. If one of those trades went through out of those teams, which one will you be like, that's not too bad?
Miami, obviously. Miami is the obvious one, and Bam is my dog. Bam is my dog, for real. But I mean, I think Miami the obvious one. Brooklyn is another obvious one because Mikal Bridges is my dog too. So, I mean, and both are capable.
So, this offseason, the Brooklyn Nets are going to be in a very interesting situation because everybody thought it was over when we lost Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And at one point, we even had James Harden. We had the big three, and even during one of the postseasons, we were literally Kevin Durant's toe away from winning a championship. And this past season, the Brooklyn Nets decided to blow up the 7-Eleven era, and we decided to go trade Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks, and we decided to move on from Kevin Durant, trading him to the Phoenix Suns, trading Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns to give him an opportunity to compete for a championship. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was very disappointed in the Phoenix Suns. I was really hoping for Kevin Durant to get a ring, because out of the big three that were here in Brooklyn, I feel like Kevin Durant gave everything to this Brooklyn Nets franchise, and unfortunately, his other, partners in crime, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, they didn't give this team everything they got, and because of that, we don't have a ring. And I was actually rooting for the Phoenix Suns this postseason, but unfortunately, they lost in the second round. And now they're in a very interesting situation because they just waived 37-year-old Chris Paul, which in my opinion, I do think that Chris Paul is probably going to end up going to the Los Angeles Lakers, playing with the King, LeBron James. It's the only person that he has not played with the banana boat. He played with Carmelo Anthony during his final years and played with Dwayne Wade, winning multiple championships. So I definitely think LeBron and Chris Paul will be playing with each other on the Los Angeles Lakers next season. And this is going to be a very interesting offseason for the Brooklyn Nets because there's a lot of decisions that are going to have to be made. And for a while, I was contemplating on if the Brooklyn Nets should acquire Damian Lillard. And Damian Lillard in this podcast stated that he is interested in going to the Miami Heat. He said Bam Adebayo is his dog. And he even mentioned the Brooklyn Nets, even stating that Mikal Bridges is his dog. So the two teams that Damian Lillard is interested in joining, if the Portland Trailblazers decide not to contend and build a team around Damian Lillard that can help him win a championship, it is between the Miami Heat and the Brooklyn Nets. And the reason why I feel very confident that the Brooklyn Nets have a serious shot at acquiring Damian Lillard is because one thing that we know throughout the years with the Miami Heat is Pat Riley is afraid to make big moves. He is somebody that doesn't want to get rid of assets, doesn't want to really get rid of draft picks, and he will do whatever he can do to get free agents and build around the pieces that he already has. And we even saw this past offseason with, some trade rumors, trying to get, some superstars, but they refused to move on from Tyler Hero or Bam Adebayo. And I think the Miami Heat right now, they are having such a historical run. I was very happy to see the Miami Heat defeat the Boston Celtics, and honestly, I will not be upset if Jimmy Butler and this underrated Heat team do win the championships. Even though I gotta support my boy Bruce Brown, former Brooklyn Net player, and Jokic. I'm hoping that the Denver Nuggets can end up winning the championship. But we're gonna have to wait and see with what happens there. It's definitely a very interesting finals, I do think. But with Damian Lillard and the Brooklyn Nets, I think that this is something we really need to consider. And I feel like, realistically, if the Brooklyn Nets are going to acquire Damian Lillard, we are going to have to give up multiple draft picks that we have acquired in the Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant trades. And personally, for me, I feel like I would trade the sooner picks, and I would try to keep those 2027 and 2029 first-round picks. Those are the picks that if I were the Brooklyn Nets, I would not be trying to move whatsoever unless we can get another star with Damian Lillard and Mikal Bridges. But I definitely think that in this stacked Eastern Conference, I really think that Damian Lillard and Mikal Bridges is still not enough for this Brooklyn Nets organization. I think that it's still not enough for us to win a championship. I think realistically, in the first round, we probably could, maybe come out of the first round, and we're definitely not getting past the second round. I can't see us beating Milwaukee, can't see us beating Philadelphia, can't see us beating Boston. There's still a lot of great teams in the Eastern Conference, and I think the Brooklyn Nets still won't have enough to compete with, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, Damian Lillard, and Nicholas Claxton, because we need to have a solid overall team. And honestly, as a Brooklyn Nets fan, I wouldn't mind acquiring Damian Lillard. He has shown his loyalty to Portland, and Damian Lillard is one of the most clutch players in the NBA. We've seen it. He's eliminated Paul George and Russell Westbrook in the playoffs, and he's even brought a lackluster Portland Trailblazers team to the to the Western Conference Finals 1 year in a stacked Western Conference. And I really think in the Eastern Conference, Damian Lillard will definitely be one of the best players in the East. But I do think that we definitely need more than just Lillard and Mikal to really compete and win ourselves a championship. But I will say, Damian Lillard and Mikal Bridges, to me, as a Brooklyn Nets fan, I am more excited to watch them play than Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I feel like if we do acquire Damian Lillard and we build a team around him and Mikal Bridges, I think that we'll definitely have a lot more of a fun culture, and I feel like we'll just have a better overall team than what we had with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and James Harden. I think right now, in today's NBA, that's the way that the league is moving forward, is depth over rings. And there's a reason why the 8th-seeded Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets are in the NBA Finals right now. Yes, they have Jimmy Buckets, they have Nikola Jokic, but look at the supporting cast that are by their side. They have such great underrated role players that are playing their roles to the best of their abilities, and that is what's helping them, get to this moment here, especially the Miami Heat, beating one of the best, teams in the Eastern Conference with the Boston Celtics, and even beating the New York Knicks, and even beating the Milwaukee Bucks, who I had going to the NBA Finals this year. And this Miami Heat, they've had such an amazing run, and a lot of that has to do with the overall team. All 15 guys that are on that roster. That is the reason why the Miami Heat are succeeding. And I think with the Brooklyn Nets, we need to build that type of culture here in Brooklyn. We had it in 2019 before we signed Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. But one player I do think that we would have to move on from if we did do this trade with the Portland Trail Blazers is Cam Thomas. And Cam Thomas has shown a lot of promise during, times where he got to play full starting minutes. He's went on to have, 40-point games and just have some really clutch games in his career. And I think the Portland Trail Blazers definitely would want to build a package around Cam Thomas to, acquire him so that they can get, Scoot Henderson with the 3rd pick, pair him up with, Simons and Cam Thomas and also Sharp. That's a pretty solid young team. But at the same time, if the Miami Heat want to acquire Damian Lillard, I think that, they would have to move on from Tyler Hero and build a package around him. But one thing that Pat Riley through the years has done is really show his loyalty to his players. And he's very stubborn when it comes to trades. So that's the only reason why I think the Brooklyn Nets really have a serious shot at acquiring Damian Lillard. We've acquired lots of draft picks, and with the Brooklyn Nets not even having their own picks for the next couple of seasons, I think that the Brooklyn Nets really do need to consider bringing in Damian Lillard for a couple seasons. They already said that they don't want to trade Mikal Bridges, and Mikal Bridges has already proved that this man could be a superstar, and we all know he's definitely going to be an all-star next season if he continues to stay healthy. But I really think that this is something that we really need to consider. And I think the overall thing about this whole Damian Lillard thing for Brooklyn Net fans are, when we traded Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, even myself, we continue to, trash the front office saying, oh, nobody's going to want to play for our owner. Nobody's going to want to play for Sean Marks. We're fucked. But honestly, Damian Lillard going on here saying the Brooklyn Nets over teams like the Boston Celtics, over teams like the New York Knicks, that is absolutely mind-blowing here. And it's crazy because even CJ McCollum on First Take earlier said that he thinks that Damian Lillard is going to be leaving the Trailblazers in no time. And I feel like the Trailblazers right now are in a very tough situation because you have this guy who's a superstar who is probably the greatest player to wear a Portland jersey, wanting to compete for a championship with your team, loves the city, loyal, wants to end up retiring as a Blazer, wants to win a championship as a Blazer, but just doesn't have enough to compete against, some of these teams that are in the Western Conference. And it's a tough situation because they, either need to build a team around Lillard now and compete for a title now, or, build for the future. And they got lucky in this year's draft lottery with the 3rd pick overall. And Scoot Henderson is projected to go number 3. And honestly, he could definitely be one of the best players in this draft class. And you can definitely get a lot in return for Damian Lillard and build around Scoot Henderson and Sharp. And it's going to be very interesting to see what the Trailblazers do. I'm not going to believe any of this stuff until it actually happens. We know that Damian Lillard, there's been a lot of rumors through the years that he was going to get traded, that he was going to leave Portland, and ended up staying loyal to his franchise. But to the Brooklyn Net fans that are, watching this, let me know in the comment section below. Do you want Damian Lillard in a Brooklyn Nets jersey next year? Personally, for me, I actually wouldn't mind seeing Damian Lillard out there. Mikal Bridges and him, they're very close, and I think it would just be a fun team overall, but I do think we need more to compete. But let me know in the comment section how you feel about Damian Lillard. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a best one yet already and you're a Brooklyn Nets fan like me, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, because all summer long, I'm going to be covering Brooklyn Nets stuff with draft picks and free agency signings. Going to be doing reaction videos. We're going to be doing all that good stuff, Brooklyn Nets only. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow me on my social medias and other YouTube pages, all that down below. If you're into pro wrestling, go check out We Are Wrestling. I have a podcast over there, new episodes on Apple Podcasts and Spotify every Saturday. And we even do wrestling reactions, we do wrestling vlogs, plenty of wrestling content over on the We Are Wrestling channel. Recommend you guys to go check that out if you're into pro wrestling. All the links down below. And of course, to all the best ones out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.
I hope you're ready for the comeback. Steve Nash, I'm about to bring the sun